guys, and welcome to a Supreme Commander tutorial. Uh, Making this so that we have like a reference for like how to do things early in the game and whatnot. So the first thing that you want to do is build these 4 Resource nodes with your commander, and then select one of your other engineers. These little guys here are your engineers. This is commander. And then with him, you want to build like the resource nodes around your area. Now these give you this mass, right? It's up in the top here. And with the mass, you can build your buildings or your units or whatever you want. You also need energy, which is this number. So with your third builder, you're going to build some energy. Usually about 5 or 6 will do. When your commander is done building his mass, what are these called? Mass extractors. You want to build whatever unit type you want to go for first. Usually, if you have land connections between you and your opponents, you want to build a land factory so that you can kind of defend your base. With your land factory coming up, you can already select the units you want to build. So we're going to build 5 rockhead tanks. That's your basic ground defense. We're going to build 1 air unit and then 1 mobile missile launcher that'll help take down bases. Then we're going to set that queue to rebuild. And that's this button here, and it'll build these units over and over again. With your buildings selected, you can tell your units where you want to go once they're built. We're just going to select here, and all the units will rally there. Over here on the right, you can see these little icons here. These are things that aren't currently doing something, so when they have a little exclamation point out beside them, it means that they're not building anything. You always want to be building something, so let's make our commander build some research. It's a good time to look at the research tab. So in the research tab, this is how you improve your units and buildings. There's different things that you can get, like this lowers the build cost of your buildings by 5%, and this helps them build faster. Knowing the options would help you greatly, but you know, this is something you can explore in the game when you have like moments when there isn't much going on. But having a couple of these early on is really helps with getting your research out faster. After we build this one, we're going to build another land factory so that we can have units coming out quicker. If you hold shift down, you can see what items that you're creating. So this guy's creating this. This commander is going to create the factory here. This guy's done creating his stuff over here. Holding shift also, you can queue up items to build. So there's no here, so we're gonna Alright, so we want to build some defense over here to stop people from coming in like that. Your builders can repair units, so I'm repairing this building while he's attacking it. I could also convert him, but by the time I converted him, it would already be dead. I kind of don't want it to die. I don't want to have to remake it. Alright, so now that he's done with that, he'll repair this and then he'll make these 2 buildings. Something that we can do to kind of know where people are coming in is we can build, under the advanced tab, we can build this radar installation. That'll help us see people coming in. So what I've gone for at the start here with research is I've gone for this mass income. It gives me 25% more mass on my income. And that's because I don't really want to be contesting these locations, but I still want to have enough income to compete with the other people. Good early attacks are kind of a good thing to do. It slows your opponents down. So we're going to send these guys north. Your commander is a combat unit himself, so you can use him to do some early game fighting if need be. Since we are going kind of a defensive start here, I want to build some shield generators so that my units and things have areas they can shoot out of without necessarily dying.
Commander under attack.
Your builder units and your commander can clean up the battlefield by taking the resources that from enemies that have died. So this is giving us additional mass income at the top when we clean up the wreckages. Alright, so I kind of have everything I want under the structure tab for now. We're going to go to the land tab, because that's the units that we're building. We're going to make them a little bit stronger. Now you're not going to be able to kill them. Run away. So now we have a pretty good defense set up here. It'll take quite a bit to break through that. We're going to leave these guys here. But up here, we're going to attack the middle with these guys. And we're going to set up a little defense over here. Now see this hill here? We can shoot up to the top of this hill, but we can't shoot, you know, over the hill because of line of sight. So when we make our turrets, we want to make them just so that they can shoot up on that hill, but that not over it. Don't want to waste their range. At this point we have quite a few guys just not doing anything. So we want to build a little bit more research with them. The more research you can get out early, just generally the better you're going to be in your opponents. Like your units will be better. Now, getting additional research does not make your units cost more. So when you're making your units better, it's just a steady income advantage over your opponent. We still want to be attacking. We've attacked the top, so now it's time to attack these guys on the bottom. You see a commander early game, they can sometimes be hard to take out. I think in this case we're going to take him out pretty easy. We'll probably lose all of our units when he explodes.
Commander destroyed.
It's worth it to take out the commander early. They provide a lot of defense and they build faster than other units. So. Also, he kind of nuked his own base, which is pretty good. Something you can do with the air units is when they come out, see this is the line of them coming out, you can set them to patrol an area. So if they're gonna come here, and then I want them to patrol, say, here, to here, to here, to here. And now they'll patrol that area around there. You'll see this guy, he'll follow this path. Or he'll make me into a liar. Okay, he's glitched, but this guy's doing it right. Let's finish off ready. Alright, so we have 4 factories going. We have a decent amount of troop improvements. At this stage of the game, what we really want to be looking for is ramping up. So we want to get experimentals, which are advanced units like this Fat Boy 2. And you can build them out of a land gantry. Each faction has its own experimentals. And they all work pretty similar. You build the experimental factory, and then it just provides you their advanced units. The factions are all pretty unique. Like this plane here is a fighter and a bomber, but our planes that we're making here are only fighters. But they're a lot better at being fighters. Is going some like airdrop strategy. So we probably want to build some AA around the base. You can do the same thing with just air units. You can set them to patrol by themselves. You don't have to just do it out of a factory. since purple had the center here, they probably have a resource advantage over whoever's up here. So we want to attack purple first. Units do upgrade whenever you click them. See, these guys have 3 turrets now.
Commander destroyed.
These guys are fighting over the resources left by this guy in his base. I don't want to let him have the resources in his base, so. Let's go see who this is. You can also speed up the production of some of your bases by clicking on one of the builders and telling them to assist. Right now we're running a little bit low on power, so I'm going to find one of my guys and build a string of power. With the UEF, our power plants don't have the explosive effect when they blow up as some of the others. So building the power right next to each other isn't so bad. Also, our power plants, if we achieve this, our power plants will heal the buildings around it. So you'll see when I click this, all the power plants will update. There weren't any power plants there, but they would have updated.
Commander under attack.
What are you doing, yeah? You're supposed to be building power.
Commander under attack.
Now that we've hit purple pretty hard, and they're probably not going to be able to come back up, I'm going to go ahead and take out green.
Commander destroyed.
Planes are only really good when you blob them together. Sending in a couple bombers like this, they're just gonna basically scout. That's about it. The air defenses and things will just kill them pretty easy. Especially since I haven't really put any upgrades into the airplanes. And that's basically how a game would go in Spring Commander. Um, these guys were set on easy, so I wouldn't have to think too much. But, yep, that's the starting all the way to an end. Some helpful tips. The rest is just really like reading, like learning what each one of the units does and how to best use them. There's artillery units and anti-missile units, anti-artillery units. It's a pretty cool little game of rock, paper, scissors. There's a bunch of units each faction. There's probably about 20 or so. Um, the strategy in this game can get pretty intense, and that's why I always thought it was a really cool game. Some of the other games that this studio's come out with have been a little bit more about blobbing, but this one takes, you really have to like have a whole unit together, like tanks and artillery and anti-air, or you'll just kind of get stomped. And you can see that when you play like hard opponents or normal opponents versus the computer, or even playing other human opponents. So anyway, little tutorial. Hope it helps. See you guys later.